So tell us what your current employment is.
Well, the NHS reorganised, as it does quite often in Scotland and in England, and I took that opportunity to say, well, perhaps I want a little more diversity in my life. And so I went self-employed, and so I have what I call a portfolio of activities now. I'm a non-executive director on my local NHS board, which means that I'm really on the governance committee for all the services in our area, which is a population of 300,000 people. And I then take contracts for a variety of work, and I've worked in Finland, Australia and Canada in particular, working with other government agencies that assess technologies and helping them to consider their approaches, to make sure that they're open and transparent. And particularly I'm interested in how patients and the public are involved in these processes, and that's something quite new for me, but it's something I feel that's very important. So I'm also interested in communication issues with the public, and here the whole issue of communication of statistical issues, and particularly the communication of risk, is one I'm particularly interested in.
You've had an enormous amount of variety so far in your career, and no doubt more to come. But reflecting back on the different roles and positions you've held, could you think aloud a little bit about what it is you think is the common element of having started out with a career, with a training in statistics? What's the thread that's run through your career that you think might characterise statistical expertise?
That's always a hard question when I've had such a varied career, but I think from the outset, choosing a path which related to medical statistics was the right one for me. I guess I'm quite altruistic in my motives, and I've always wanted to do things that would be of benefit, I guess, to society, and that's really led everything that I've done in my career. I've wanted to do things of value, but work with others. When I was doing my PhD, there was a point where I was in a room working on pages of equations, and I quickly said, I want to go out there and work with people. And I think that's the real value of statistics, that a good statistician has to interact with other scientists or managers or whomever to understand their problem and their issue, to try and find solutions for that from our own statistical modelling and analysis, and then interpret that in their language. And I think that that's what's always driven me, is wanting to understand a problem, consider how I might be able to help solve that, and then help in the interpretation. And I think that runs through my whole career, even though that's now diversified and perhaps it's not pure statistically based. I've been involved in economic modelling, and I'm now getting involved in qualitative research. I think that sort of logical approach has stayed with me throughout my career.
Well, thank you, Karen. I look forward to interviewing you again in a few years and finding out all the other interesting things you've done in the meantime. But thank you for telling us so much about your career, which is very interesting so far.
My pleasure. Thank you.